Troops arrest 47 suspected rail track vandals in Kaduna. 2 persons rescued in Abuja building collapse. Food vendor loses millions due to a failed verbal contract in Bauchi. On the foreign scene, Togo tightens COVID-19 controls after Hajj deaths. Hello and welcome to Trust TV's news updates. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Thanks for joining us. Now, operatives of the 1 Division Nigerian Army Kaduna have arrested 47 suspected rail track vandals in the state. The division's acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations Officer, Lieutenant Colonel Musa Yahaya, who disclosed on Saturday in Kaduna, said the arrest was made by the troops while on routine patrol along the Kakao-Daji Angowan Ayaba Road. He said the suspects had loaded 2 trucks with the vandalized rail tracks before their arrest. Yahaya stated that the suspects revealed that they were employed by one Al-Aji Babawo, who is at large, to load the vandalized rail tracks and offload same at a nearby bush along the road. He disclosed that the suspects were profiled at the 312 Artillery Regiment, Kaduna. The acting commander, 1 Division Provost Group, Lieutenant Colonel I.Y. Reina, was quoted as stating that the suspects were profiled to ascertain their level of involvement during preliminary investigation. The suspects were handed over to the authorities of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, Kaduna Station, represented by the Divisional Crime Officer. The Niger State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) has arrested a tricycle operator who is a member of a syndicate that specializes in snatching mobile phones from their passengers. The arrest came after the command received several complaints of phone snatching and theft of bank savings through SIM card. The state commandant of the Corps, Joachim Okafor, while briefing newsmen in his office, said the criminal syndicate operated a mutilated security number written on the tricycle, picking their victims as if they are passengers. He said the suspect, identified as Abubakar Aliyu, confessed to the crime and is providing additional information that will lead to the arrest of the other gang members. Some of the victims whose phones were recovered from the suspects said the accused deployed similar tactics to steal their mobile phones. The suspect, who was the driver of the tricycle, said he hired the tricycle from one Aji, on that it was the first time he engaged in the crime. Solid security over in Nasarawa State. 2 suspected armed robbers had been killed following a gun duel with personnel of the police in the Karshi area of Karo local government area of the state. A statement by the public relations officer of the State Police Command, Ramhan Nansel, said the suspects were neutralized during an operation in collaboration with the Nigerian Army. He added that the general area was combed by the combined team where 2 suspects, Yusuf Lawal, aged 27, a resident of Nyanya FCT, and Hamza Abdullahi of Orange Market, Mararaba, who both hailed from Bauchi State, were arrested in connection with the crime. According to the statement, exhibits recovered from the suspects include 3 cartridges, 3 cutlasses, 19 handsets of different brands, 2 laptops, and 9 pairs of shoes, amongst others. He said the State Commissioner of Police, Umar Nadada, commended the officers that carried out the operation and urged them to sustain the tempo. Over Imo State, operatives of the anti-kidnapping attached to Imo Police Command has arrested additional suspects in connection to the gruesome murder of a divisional police officer in Mbise a few months ago. According to the Police Public Relations Officer, ASP Henry Okoye, the confessions of suspects arrested earlier led to the arrest of 7 others. Trust TV's Ajibade Praise tells us more.
The suspects being paraded were arrested at different locations in the state. Some of them were responsible for the countless attacks on security agencies in the state, including the killing of the DPO.
Today, I have before you a total of 20 suspects, largely males, arrested for various criminal offenses ranging from terrorism activities, kidnapping, and murder. And in the course of investigating the aforesaid cases, we have recovered 7 pump action guns and other locally made guns too.
The suspect, who gave his name as Oluomachi Iheanacho, a 28-year-old native of Abombise, confessed to be a member of the outlawed group. He said he was forced into joining them when they threatened his life. For this ex-convict, repenting from crime is difficult for him because he came from a very poor background.
I know those people because they are my village. They are parading in my village.
Are you a member or not?
I'm a member, but it's IPOB, but it's they enforce me with a gun. They enforce me to join me.
When did you leave the camp?
I've been doing it. I do it 2012, get problem and go to prison, came back, still continue doing it. I do it on January 2021, still do it second one, March 2021. But because of combat condition, yes, I came from poor family.
Okoye said the Commissioner of Police, CP Aboki Danjuma, is urging members of the public to assist the police with useful information that could aid crime fight in the state. At Jibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
Back to the FCT here. 2 people have been rescued from a collapsed building at the Prince and Princess Estate in the Gudu district of the Federal Capital Territory. This was disclosed in a statement by the Head of Public Affairs, FCT Emergency Management Department, FEMD Nkechi Issa, on Saturday. She noted that the Acting Director General of the FEMD, Florence Wenegeme, confirmed that all the workers evacuated the building as soon as they saw signs that the building was going to collapse. However, 2 persons in a detached bungalow behind the building became trapped by the rubble from the collapsed building. The trapped occupants were rescued by the FEMD search and rescue team, who cut through the window protectors. Meanwhile, Wenegeme is appealing to developers and individuals to observe building codes at all times. She also urged developers to always carry out integrity tests on existing buildings before carrying out renovations. In Kano State, normalcy has returned to the Jain area of the Kano metropolis after a disagreement that arose from a football viewing center disrupted the peace in the area. The violent clash between rival thugs led to the killing of a vigilante leader in the area. Here's more of the story.
Eyewitnesses described the situation as chaotic and terrifying, with groups of thugs roaming the streets, armed with weapons and attacking anyone in their path. The attacks are believed to be related to a football argument that started a fight and led to someone being injured, causing them to retaliate, while 2 people were killed in the process, causing a crossfire between the 2 parties.
Honestly, last week we had a problem between Calgary, which is led to demise of 2 persons. But as at now, we are living in peaceful conditions. There is no issue. The causes of the problem, initially it was started from the viewing center of football club, and that is the main positive agent that we realize that these are the issues that led to the crisis, and we have tried to run the issue of viewing center and other related issues.
Police authorities have been deployed to the area to restore order, assuring citizens that they will continue to monitor the situation to ensure the safety of all. Mariam Haliru, Trust TV News, Kano.
Still with Kano, a truck loaded with cows from Wudu local government area of the state and heading to Enugu has somersaulted at the Medugri Road flyover in Kano. One of the passengers on board the truck, Hashim Rabiu, told Trust TV that brake failure may be the cause of the accident. Policemen and officials of the Federal Road Safety Corps and men of the State Fire Service rushed to the scene to assist those who sustained injuries. Some of the victims were taken to the Sanusi Hospital at Yankaba. No death has been recorded from the accident so far. The truck was loaded with 28 cows, sheep, onions and dates. Over in Plateau State, farmers and herders have expressed different views on the proposed anti-grazing bill currently being debated in the National Assembly. The bill was introduced following a motion by Senator Titus Zam, representing Benue Northwest. In his lead debate, Senator Zam argued that the recurring clashes between farmers and herders could be effectively addressed through legislative measures that ban open grazing. Adam Musa tells us more.
Open grazing has become a hot topic in Nigeria for years, polarizing Nigerians along ethno-religious lines. This is not the first time the Nigerian government has considered banning or regulating open grazing. The proposed bill has faced significant opposition from some Nigerians, particularly herders who argue that it will disadvantage them. According to the media reports, part of the bill suggests establishing ranches in states with pastoralist communities, while not imposing this requirement on states without such communities. Farmers and herders in Plateau State are divided on the proposed bill.
As a farmer, my view on the open grazing, ban to open grazing will really help farmers, because farmers do clash with herdsmen during farming season, because the open grazing give room to herders to go around everywhere with their cattle rearing it, but a ban to open grazing, that means their cattle will be kept in a particular area, so it will give farmers space to farm their crops very well.
I don't support the open grazing. The reason is because, okay, here is a farm. If the cattle should be come here and then eat up everything, it will not be, I will not be happy. Yes, so I rather advise they should like keep it in one place, cover it, and then they should be feeding them.
Why do herders reject the ban on open grazing? The state chairman of Gang Allah Fulani Development Association, Garba Abdullahi, has this to say.
The Fulani on the plateau more especially, we are not in support of the bill that the National Assembly is working on, that the bill of anti-open grazing law in Nigeria, because it is going to be counterproductive. How is the government ready? Did they provide any enabling environment for the Fulanis to key into this ranching they are talking about? The species of cows that the Fulani have today cannot support that law they are putting on of ranching instead of open grazing, and it is going to kill their cows because they are not used to it. So it means, and it is also capital intensive. How is the government ready to support this program?
Salisu Muhammad, a conflict resolution expert, explains how the proposed law could be a solution to the harder farmer crisis in Nigeria.
First and foremost, it has to be two ways. There is no one way as a solution. Number one of the two ways, if the bill is going to contain provision for ranches, that's one way. The second way, if the bill is only for banning of open grazing, it will fail, because the ban of open grazing is putting the horse before the cat. I mean, it's putting the cat before the horse. the horse is supposed to be before the cart. If you ask somebody, don't go out, you have to provide for the person a place to stay. So we're not saying they should provide for herders, because it's personal enterprise, it's personal estate. We're not saying they should provide for them everything they need. No, these are animals, these are lives we're talking about here. They should provide for them an alternative.
Lawmakers have proposed a national summit on the matter, along with a public hearing to seek a comprehensive solution. Both farmers and herders are eagerly awaiting the outcome to see if the bill will be passed into law. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
A Bauchi-based food vendor, Aisha Ibrahim, is now regretting entering into an oral contract to prepare food worth 7.5 million naira for staff of a non-governmental organization after the client failed to show up to claim the food. Speaking with Trust TV, Aisha, who said the food was to feed 9,000 people in 3 days, added that she had no option but to go on social media to seek help. Adamu Imam tells us more.
Aisha had, in the morning of Wednesday, 26 June 2024, taken to social media crying for help over her imminent loss as the client failed to come claim the over 7 million naira worth of food. She narrates that having signed no contractual agreement, there was no way she could recover her money.
My husband intimated me to ask him to provide me with the contract agreement. So I called him again to ask for the contract agreement, which he says I should just go on with the preparation. He will make it ready the next morning, inshallah. So I went ahead. The next day, when we were done preparing the food, so I called him to provide me with contact persons that will deliver the food to various local government, and he was not responding, he was not answering my calls.
As aftermath of the video, Aisha said well-meaning Nigerians came to her aid, including the state governor Bala Muhammad, who settled what she incurred, and other miscellaneous totaling about 7,516,000 for the unclaimed food through the State Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Senator Bala Muhammad Bauchi has come to my aid. He has paid all the expenses incurred at the cost of this transaction, including extra money. So I'm really happy, I'm really glad he came to my aid.
Contract agreement is very important. When you are going for any contract, you have to make sure that the person has given you the contract paper and you duly sign it before you embark on anything that has to do with such nature. And if I may advise again, the money should be around maybe half to third of that sum of the contract.
A legal practitioner in the state, while reacting to the issue, warned against entering into undocumented contracts.
Agreeing on a thing, it should be documented. It is not because you do not trust yourself. It's simply because the brain can fail you, the mind can fail you tomorrow. So it is even advisable that an agreement between a father and a son should be documented, not because you did not trust each other, but because the mind or the brain can fail you tomorrow.
According to Aisha, the suspected client during interrogation at the Department of State Security Service in the state denied his action, citing communication gap as the main reason. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
In business, the Naira has emerged as the worst performing currency in the world in the first half of 2024. According to a report by Bloomberg on Friday, devaluation, insufficient dollar liquidity and market volatility have hindered efforts by the Central Bank of Nigeria to strengthen the currency. Besides the Naira, Egyptian pound and Ghana's cedi were the world's other worst performers in the first 6 months of the year. Tracking data from FMDQ, Bloomberg said that the Naira weakened for a 9th straight day to 1,510 Naira per dollar on Thursday. Away from Nigeria, in Togo, It has become the second West African country to implement COVID screening tests and face masks for pilgrims returning from the annual Muslim Hajj pilgrimage in Mecca. Senegal became the first country in the region to implement voluntary tests, suspecting that a number of the over 1,300 deaths, according to a Saudi tally, are down to respiratory syndrome ailments such as COVID-19. A Togolese government statement on Friday said Hajj pilgrims would have to undergo compulsory COVID tests and limit contacts, wear masks, wash regularly, and avoid large gatherings for 10 days after their return. Saudi Arabia's official SPA news agency reported 1,301 deaths at the annual pilgrimage, attended by some 1.8 million faithful from all over the world, where temperatures climbed as high as 51.8 degrees Celsius. About 18% of Togo's 8 million population is Muslim. This year, some 2,500 Togolese went to Saudi Arabia for the Hajj. And finally, in sports, Nigeria's Tobi is in a buoyant mood after her victory at the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS. CAS ruled in favor of the 27-year-old in an appeal brought before it by World Athletics and World Anti-Doping Agency. It's all God, Amoson said in an Instagram post alongside the court's announcement. The Ogun State-born athlete was suspended by the Athletics Integrity Unit, ARU, in 2023 for missing 3 drug tests within 12 months. The verdict was later overturned by the ARU panel. Had the appeal been upheld, Amoson would have missed out on the 2024 Olympic Games and been suspended for 2 years. And that's it for news update at this hour. For more of our news, programs and documentaries, please follow us on all our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Thanks for joining us.